What's up, y'all? Shuffle. Very happy to be here doing another Against the Storm guide. Definitely my favorite game of last year, and people like the new player guides, so glad you did. And I get a lot of questions about Rainpunk. Using Rainpunk. So if you haven't even noticed, up here on your building tabs, not every building has this, but most of the production buildings do. You have your production, you got your inventory here, so what they've made, what they have on hand, so if you ever need these, you can click these out and they go other places. And then you have whatever effects it's getting, you know, most likely it's just your hearth. But then this final tab is Rainpunk. So these are engines for production, and you unlock these at account level 6, I believe. And most of the time, surprisingly, you can just actually ignore it. You can, no joke, beat all of the prestige levels without using it. However, it's good to know how to use it because there are a lot of times where it is good to have it. So we'll talk about that right now. So what ends up happening is when you have a building that does not have an engine, it looks like this. You need 4 copper pipes to connect them, and you can make these at your crude workstation. They are at the bottom here, so you can take either copper or crystallized dew, whichever you can make. And then once you make a few, you can put them into a building simply by clicking this button. And once you've clicked this button, this menu appears. So you have 2 dials and a couple different gauges, and it looks a little confusing at first, but it's actually very simple. So you have 2 different engines to use. The first one facilitates production. The second one gives you resolve. And both of these are pretty good. And so you can up these at any time, right? Just max it out or click it. I believe you can... No, okay. There is a way to do it quickly. So yeah, tab. So you can do it from down here too if you hold the tab key. It's the same mechanics. So left click brings it up, right click turns it back. That's really nice to know, so you don't have to always go digging for it in the menu. Plus, if you want to put pipes on it from the outside, you can just hit this. You actually never need to open this tab, but a lot of people don't know about the tab key, so a little bit of quick stuff there for you. And when you have rainwater, so you collect it using rain collectors. Boxes are happy to work these. There's also an advanced rain collector that you get from a random blueprint. It is a little bit bigger. It holds 3 people and double the amount of water. You get 3 types of water. There's drizzle, clearance, and storm. And of course, you get each one of these in the rain collector during that season. But there are also geysers. So if you ever see one of these, for instance, this is a drizzle geyser, and you can put a geyser pump on it. Take some pipes, take some wood, but once you do that, you get a bonus 50 to your holding tank for that type. So the regular rain collector holds 50 of each. The advanced one holds 100 of each. And every time you build another one, or if you build a pump, then the cap goes up. And so with this, you can collect rainwater. And once you have rainwater, and you want to look at your engines, you can decide how to use it. You can go up to 5 clicks at a time. And as you use it, this Blight Rot progress bar begins to fill up. You can shut it off at any time, but we'll talk about Blight Rot later. And so the first one on the left dial is just production speed. Really good to have in a lot of cases. Then you have 25% chance of bonus yields, which is really good. The final one, you don't normally need to push it this high, but you know, if you really need to pump out some stuff, you can max it out and get double speed, 25% bonus chance to get stuff, which is nice. The next one is really cool. So giving workers in the building bonus resolve. If you're in a situation where resolve is starting to drop off because you're in a storm or there's an event going on that's making people unhappy, you can actually stack them up in here and push this all the way up and boost their resolve. So this, I have 1 beaver in here. I want to see how fast or far it goes. So it's dropping down to 13. Put one, stuck at 14, put another up to 15. That's one person, right? And so if you put 2 more beavers in there, suddenly it's up to 17 for the same thing. So there is a lot of use for that, because sometimes, like I said, you'll do an event that makes one species unhappy, or you're just struggling with one of them and the storm hits, and you don't want to use favor because, you know, it might make some of the other people angry. You can use Rainpunk engines, shove them in there, turn this on, and hopefully keep them. But the other thing too, as I was talking about with the collector, all you have to do is just put people in here and they'll do it automatically. It's just another job. And if you do the pump's got an interesting application. This is a stormwater one, but this is what it looks like normally, just like the rain catcher collector. You can just, you know, drop people in here. But this one has the added benefit of, if you have a couple extra pipes and 1 wildfire essence, you can make an automaton. And you can make 2 if you max it out, as well as getting more tank capacity. So if you really just want to automate the entire thing, and honestly, I don't think losing the double yield is that big of a deal for using the automatons, because they don't take breaks. So the reason they don't get double production is because they never have to leave, they don't have to eat, they don't have to do anything. You know, they don't take breaks, they just keep going. And dropping 1 or 2 of these in here, unless you're using that type of water in every single building, it usually is enough to keep it in a good spot. And it's not just the engines that use the water in. There are foods like porridge, which I'm not using here, but porridge over here. So you can make porridge with various rainwater, and it's really important to make sure you're not using too much of one that you might need. Like drizzle, I would say, is the most important one, because you can have greenhouses, which is a food production building, uses drizzle. I'd say storm is the second most important, and then clearance is probably the third, like the least important. It's just not super usable unless you're doing something like this biome, which is the sealed forest. I don't know if I have a ghost handy. There you are. So if you look at this ghost, one of the things you can give it is clearance water. So it's never bad to have an abundance of that on this map. But yeah, so as you use these, again, you turn up 1, turn up 2, like both engines on one building. Usually not going to be a huge thing, and the Blight Rot builds very slowly. But you should make sure that you're preparing for the Blight Rot anyway. It's this little meter all the way down here. It says it's got a percentage. The percentage is, it feels arbitrary, honestly, just because, you know, it goes up by like 50, 70, whatever, and just goes up to like 300 at some point. And it's supposed to be indicative of how many cysts are going to be in your settlement. And you'll see the buds when they start dropping in, but they don't open until the storm, so it's a lot of extra pressure. The way to handle Blight Rot, which doesn't appear until, I believe, Viceroy, but you don't have to deal with it in each year, or I should say every 3 years, until Prestige. So count your blessings there. But to handle Blight Rot, all you have to do is make a Blight Post. Usually 1 to handle 15 is like the max you want to do with 1 post. And you can use different types of fuel materials to make these flamethrowers. And it's purging fire. Sometimes you need this for certain glade events, but you need it to burn off Blight Rot when it hits your settlement. And your hearth has a corruption meter. There you go. So yeah, this is how much it can handle before the Blight Rot overtakes it and starts killing people, and then it refills again. So you want to make sure that not only are you upgrading your hearth, that you're not overwhelming yourself with Blight Rot. But once you have some flamethrowers, you can safely start purging it every storm once it opens. There's one other thing that's kind of nice to have, and that's the hydrant. That's just a little one space thing to build, but this way, if you have other settlements, like all the way out here and stuff, they don't have to run all the way back here to get more flamethrowers. They can just run up here, hit the hydrant, and keep doing what they need to do. Blight Rot doesn't usually go too far unless you're having it in like every single building and every expansion that you have. Did a little fast forward. Well, I shouldn't say fast forward. I just, play the game until it got to clearance just to show you what the next part looks like. So once you hit clearance, this is why Blight Rot can be a little deceiving, is because the percentage for the one that happens every 3 years on high difficulty does not show up until clearance, and that's almost too late to do much about it. But the way to handle that is with the Blight Post, since it happens every 3 years. So I'm on year 6 right now, is to build the Blight Post in probably year 2, and then just get all the fire ready sometime before the next, or the year 3 storm, and then just have it sit there. But once you hit it, as you can see, we have a 246% thing of Blight Rot. If you divide that by 10, it's not even 25% each, so that's why I'm saying the percentage feels very arbitrary, but this is what it looks like on your thing, and these don't matter, like the actual location of them don't matter too much, besides that's where people have to run to hit them. Usually they hit your warehouses, sometimes some production buildings and houses or whatever. Of note, destroying the building does not remove the Blight Rot, it just goes somewhere else. Alright, so you don't get to cheat it that way. But this is really when you should start thinking about how many people you have on hand. And with like a level 2 Hearth, 2 people can handle 10 pretty safely, but if you start getting to like 15, so it's about like 5 per person during a storm. I guess that's an easier way to say it. So just make sure if you have a ton of it, that you get a bunch of people, like get a second Blight Post, get people ready and stuff like that, because if you're not, it's not that you won't beat the Blight Rot that storm, it's just that it might go off once or twice and kill people, and then that gets really bad. So once we get a little bit further, I'll get to the next storm and I'll show you what it looks like when everyone starts burning up the Blight Rot cyst. Now the final part of the video, showing what happens with Blight Rot in the storm, and we're wrapping up a nice little Fishman lighthouse right here, since we got this cool bleeding tree modifier, so that's really nice, simple, easy Forbidden Glade, we like that. And right here, I only have 1 person in here, so I should drop a couple more. So I gotta find out where I have some spare people right now. I can probably kick someone out of the beanery. And 2 should be enough for this, is my hope anyway. So, oh, I got someone in here too. Alright, that can go. And, alright, we're good. We'll put the group of them in there. And so I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna go at 1 speed here as we come into this. It's a bit scary for the 1 second that we have it. Hopefully no one instantly dies, because this is done as well. Alright, boom, back down to 4. Alright, and then they're gonna open up, and you're gonna watch the 3 people run out of here and start burning them. Also, I got a ton of, got some issues here. Hold on, let's prep a little bit. Burn this for now. Be enough. And put 1. Come on, little cysts. Wah! They look very, very demonic, don't they? Look at this. They got little teeth. They got snappers. They got little light buds, almost like a deep sea fish. And you can see that we're burning them off. So there goes a couple. And then this is why I was saying the hydrant's really good, is because they start coming over here to restock. Put it over there for now. And here's the corruption bar. You can see it's filling up. And this is how much total corruption you have. And this is going pretty quickly, even at 1 speed, as you can see. Like if I turn up to 4, look at this. But every time you destroy a cyst, it pushes it back, so that's really nice. And I wish these houses got done, but they didn't. So in and out a couple more times. Also, what's really nice is it shows you how many of the cysts are left for you to destroy. So if you don't understand what this number means, and I'm sorry I didn't catch this before, but this is saying that after this current round of burning, because they burn 3 at a time, you can see 4. I'm gonna have 1 left. So it really helps you in planning ahead with how many flamethrowers you need, or purging fires. Come out 1 more time. Burn, burn, burn. Alright, got 1 more. This fox should clean it up. Get it, Fox. Can't let you do that, Star Fox. Come back. You know, I always need to take more time to appreciate the models in these games because they look so good, right? But you're always playing out here at like 4 speed, so it's really nice to come in here and see what, you know, what they actually look like. And there it goes. Now it's done. They have exclamation marks. There's nothing. They're idling, so there's nothing to do there. So we just kick everyone out, and we wait until we have more Blight Rot. I still have 10 on deck, so that is it for Blight Rot. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If this video helped you, consider asking for more Against the Storm content, because like I said, I love this game, and I want to show it off. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.